What happens to your body and mind when you reset your circadian rhythm? The shocking science behind light, caffeine, and sleep. Are you struggling to wake up on time every morning? Do you feel drained by midday despite drinking coffee? What if fixing your internal clock could change everything? Your energy, mood, and mental health. Before we dive into the science, smash that like button, share this video with your friends who struggle to get out of bed, subscribe to the channel for more health hacks, and drop a comment below on how your sleep schedule impacts your day. Introduction: the hidden power of your circadian rhythm. Imagine this: your body is a finely tuned clock, ticking away with a rhythm that influences everything from hormone release to brain function. This internal clock is called your circadian rhythm, and it dictates your sleep-wake cycle, mood, metabolism, and even cognitive performance. Disrupting this rhythm can lead to depression, anxiety, fatigue, and poor physical health. But what if you could reset your circadian rhythm and reclaim your vitality? What happens when you realign your body clock with natural light, caffeine intake, and exercise? This is what many health experts now consider a cornerstone of self-directed healthcare, a proactive approach to optimizing your well-being beyond pills and prescriptions. Here's a bold question. How much do you think your daily exposure to sunlight, caffeine consumption, and screen time affect your circadian rhythm and overall health? You might be surprised. Before we get started, if you're serious about boosting your energy and mental clarity, hit that like button, share this with someone who needs it, and subscribe for weekly deep dives into health science. The science of circadian rhythms, why light is life. Let's talk about something most people overlook every morning: sunlight. It might seem simple, but that golden glow you get first thing in the morning could be the most powerful biological switch you'll flip all day. The secret lies deep within your brain, in a tiny cluster of about 20,000 nerve cells called the suprachiasmatic nucleus, SCN, located in the hypothalamus. This is the master regulator of your circadian rhythm, your internal 24-hour biological clock. But here's the twist. Your SCN doesn't run on its own. It's light-dependent. That means your body isn't actually self-winding. It needs to be reset daily by signals from the outside world, especially natural light. Specifically, the SCN receives this light signal through a unique pathway. Light hits the retina, travels via the retinohypothalamic tract, and stimulates the SCN, which then orchestrates everything from your hormone release to body temperature to alertness levels. Why morning sunlight is non-negotiable. When you expose your eyes to natural morning light, ideally within the first 30 to 60 minutes of waking, it sends a powerful signal to your body. It's time to wake up. This triggers a cascade of hormonal changes. Cortisol, your body's natural energizer, rises, helping you feel more alert and focused. Simultaneously, melatonin, your sleep-inducing hormone, gets shut down. This hormonal switch is your body's way of drawing a bold line between night and day. Neglect this process, and your body's internal clock can start to drift, leading to disrupted sleep, mood imbalances, metabolic issues, and even weakened immunity. What the science says: sunlight isn't optional, it's biological fuel. Let's dive into some key studies that drive this point home. In a 2018 study published in Sleep Medicine, researchers observed a group of office workers over several weeks. Half the participants worked in windowless offices, while the other half had access to natural light. The difference was staggering. Those who worked near windows reported significantly better sleep quality, enhanced mood, and reduced daytime fatigue. In contrast, those without natural light exposure showed signs of circadian misalignment, sleeping later, waking up groggier, and even feeling more stressed during the day. Fast forward to 2021, a clinical trial in the Journal of Clinical Sleep Medicine focused on individuals with erratic sleep cycles, like night shift workers and people with delayed sleep phase disorder. The intervention was surprisingly simple: just 10 to 15 minutes of outdoor morning sunlight daily. The result? Most participants experienced a measurable shift in melatonin timing and began falling asleep earlier, proving that even short bursts of natural light can reset a misaligned circadian rhythm. Real-life impacts, a missing morning ritual in modern living. In today's lifestyle, many of us wake up in artificial environments, often scrolling on phones or working under dim indoor lighting. But here's the irony. Even the brightest indoor bulbs can't compare to natural sunlight. On a cloudy day, natural light can measure around 10,000 lux. A bright indoor bulb? Barely 500 lux. That's not enough to properly stimulate your SCN and reset your circadian rhythm. People who commute before sunrise or work in dark indoor environments often develop social jet lag, a state where your biological clock is out of sync with your social clock. Over time, this mismatch can lead to poor sleep, increased anxiety, brain fog, and even weight gain. A 2020 meta-analysis found that individuals with irregular circadian rhythms were at higher risk of depression, metabolic syndrome, and cardiovascular disease. Expert insights. Light is medicine for the brain doctor Andrew Huberman, a neuroscientist at Stanford University and one of the leading voices on circadian science, emphasizes that morning sunlight is the single most powerful behavioral tool to align your internal clock. He recommends 10 to 30 minutes of unfiltered sunlight exposure within an hour of waking. No sunglasses, no windows, just your bare eyes safely taking in that light. He explains that this simple act doesn't just boost wakefulness, it improves learning, focus, hormone balance, and even mental health. Light, in essence, becomes a daily dose of brain-altering medicine. And the best part? It's free. Pro tips for reclaiming your natural rhythm. So how can you implement this in real life? Step outside within 30 to 60 minutes of waking, even if it's cloudy. Remove sunglasses and hats and let the light hit your retina, but never stare directly at the sun. Skip the glass. Windows block the full light spectrum needed to activate the SCN. Aim for 10 to 30 minutes, depending on the brightness. On cloudy days, double your time. If you have to be indoors, consider using a 10,000 lux light therapy box, especially in winter or for night shift workers. But remember, no artificial light will ever fully replace the complex, full-spectrum power of real sunlight. What if you can't get natural sunlight? If you live in a place with little sunlight or your schedule keeps you indoors, a 10,000 lux artificial light box can mimic the sun's intensity. Studies show light therapy boxes help shift the circadian rhythm, especially in cases of seasonal affective disorder, SAD, or night shift work. Personal insight. My battle with a messed up clock. I'm not super anti-big pharma, but I'm very pro self-directed healthcare. Early in my own health journey, my circadian rhythm was totally off, waking at 10 a.m., crashing by 3 p.m., then scrolling screens late into the night. It was a cycle of exhaustion, caffeine dependence, and irritability. Switching to morning sunlight exposure, hydration, and strategic caffeine use transformed my days. Now I naturally wake up before my alarm, feel more alert without jittery caffeine crashes, and sleep deeply. This isn't just anecdotal, it's the power of syncing with your natural rhythm. The role of caffeine, friend or foe. Caffeine is a double-edged sword. While it stimulates the central nervous system, increasing alertness and concentration, excessive intake or poor timing can sabotage your sleep and circadian rhythm. How much caffeine is too much? A typical cup of coffee contains about 200 milligrams of caffeine. Research suggests that moderate intake, around 400 milligrams per day, about 2 to 3 cups, is generally safe for most adults. However, individual tolerance varies widely. For example, I personally consume about 800 milligrams per day, mainly from yerba mate, a South American herbal tea rich in caffeine and antioxidants. Yerba mate provides a smoother energy boost with less crash than coffee, according to some studies. When to cut off caffeine? Caffeine's half-life is about 5 to 6 hours, meaning consuming caffeine too late in the day can delay melatonin release and disrupt sleep. Experts recommend avoiding caffeine at least 6 hours before bedtime. The problem with overconsumption. Excess caffeine can cause anxiety, irritability, and dependence. Some people, like myself, love caffeine, but recognize the risk of overuse syndrome, where we rely on stimulants to mask poor sleep, creating a vicious cycle. Evening strategies: dim lights, red glasses, and relaxation. Blue and green light emitted by screens inhibit melatonin production, delaying sleep onset. One effective strategy is to wear red lens glasses or use apps that filter blue light in the evening. The science behind red light. Red light has the least impact on melatonin secretion. Studies suggest wearing red glasses after sunset can help maintain melatonin levels, improving sleep quality. Non-sleep deep rest, NSDR, or Yoga Nidra. Another powerful tool is non-sleep deep rest, NSDR, also known as Yoga Nidra, a practice involving guided relaxation and slow exhale breathing. Research shows NSDR can increase dopamine levels by 60%, enhance cognitive performance, reduce stress and fatigue. These practices are zero cost and can be done at home before bedtime. Finding your optimal sleep-wake schedule. The chronotype factor. Not everyone thrives on the same sleep schedule. Chronotypes, your natural predisposition toward being a morning lark or night owl, play a big role in determining ideal sleep times. How to discover your chronotype. Try different schedules for at least 3 days each and track how you feel. Do you feel most alert going to bed at 10 p.m. and waking at 6 a.m.? Or do you naturally perform better going to bed at midnight and waking at 8 a.m.? Experts say most people do well with 7 to 9 hours of sleep, but the timing matters more than the exact number. Real-life examples. The 4 a.m. Club and Beyond high performers, like Mark Wahlberg and Ari Emanuel, swear by waking at 3 to 4 a.m. to get a jump start on the day. But this schedule demands discipline and may not suit everyone's social life or genetic makeup. Forcing a schedule that conflicts with your chronotype can backfire, leading to chronic fatigue or mood disorders. Nicotine and its complex role. Nicotine is a stimulant that paradoxically can also relax you. However, it causes vasoconstriction, narrowing blood vessels, which reduces blood flow to the brain and extremities, counterproductive for optimal brain function. Though some use nicotine pouches or gums to manage stress or boost focus, the addictive potential and health risks remain high. Summary: resetting your circadian rhythm is a game-changer. Key takeaways: morning sunlight exposure is vital for resetting your internal clock and improving mood. Use caffeine strategically, moderate amounts in the morning and early afternoon. Dim screens, wear red glasses, and practice relaxation techniques like NSDR in the evening. Discover your natural chronotype and find a sleep-wake schedule that suits your biology. Be cautious with stimulants like nicotine due to their negative impact on blood flow and health. Are you ready to take control of your circadian rhythm and transform your health? If so, hit like, share this with your community, subscribe for more, and leave a comment telling me your sleep struggles or wins.